Hi, this is Mr. Ng going over your quiz number 14, which was on standard form, the first and second differences, and 12.5 was vertex form. I know some of your quizzes have different numbers, but this was out of 38. Question number 1, given the table of values, what type of function is? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find the difference, and you're always going down. So in this direction, you'll realize that the numbers are getting bigger. That's positive values, so you're just adding 1 to each of those. You always need that. Okay, so the first difference here is if I keep going here, you realize the numbers are getting smaller. Smaller means more negative. So in this case, I get a difference of -5, -10, -20, and -40. And you realize that these numbers are not the same. If they were the same, that would be linear. So the first one is saying it's not linear. Now when I take my second difference here, these numbers are not the same, so it's not quadratic. If this was the same, that would be quadratic. So this one, the answer is neither. Use the following function for questions 2a, b, and c. F of x equals -x squared plus 4. Complete the first and second differences on the table below. So I didn't give you the y values. A lot of students got 13 right there. Okay, so think of this as 7 mini problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 mini problems. And the next thing you need to do is just take your value, x equals -3, and put it into your x value as function notation. Now this is where students get confused. Use your order of operations. In the parentheses, you cannot simplify this. The next thing you do is exponents. So cover up the negative sign. This will read -3 squared, which gives you a +9. Then you do the inverse, or the opposite sign, which is -9. -9 plus 4 is -5. Another way of thinking of that is think of this as a -1 times this expression. You don't multiply first, you do exponents first, okay? So if you do those 7 mini problems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those are my answers. 4, 3, 0, 3, 0, and -5. You'll notice a pattern. The pattern is you'll actually find that this is your vertex, and from there you'll recognize that pattern. Alright, so your first difference, if you go there, -5 to 0 is adding 5s, or another way of thinking is -5 plus something equals 0, that would be +5. -5 plus 5 is 0. And you go all the way down and you'll get this, and you realize it's not linear. It's not linear because they don't have the first difference is the same. They're not consistent. If you get the second difference is the same, which is, we have this in this case, -2, that's a good thing. So question 2b says, does the table represent a quadratic function? The answer is yes. Explain if it is or is not quadratic in 2 ways. So here's the first way. The following table is quadratic because second common difference is consistent, because you have a -2 there. It is consistent. Second common difference is different. Second common difference is consistent with the same number, therefore it's quadratic. Okay, what's another way that you can prove that it's quadratic? The original function equation is the power of 2. So, power of 2. If you wrote something about the exponent, I gave you only 1 point. So for this one over here, you got 2 points if you made a mistake in your first difference, or an x, or something in there is correct. Most of it's probably wrong. 3 points if you got that y value is correct, and the first difference is correct, but maybe you made a mistake here. Okay, or the majority of it is correct, but you made some kind of mistake. Question number 3 is your Ken. We've already talked about this. There's your answer. Remember, you're looking for digits 1 to 4 because you have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes. You're looking for the freebies. Here's a freebie. Tells you just 1, so write the number 1. And here's another freebie. Write the number 4. Then I usually go and tackle the boxes that have 2. So, for example, these 2 boxes, you can't do 4 and 1 because you already have a 1 here. It can't repeat. So 2 and 3. Two numbers add up to 3, 1 and 2. Here, think of it as, well, there's only, you have to have a 4, 4, and 3, so 4s have to be in the corners. And you'll complete that. Alright, so let's grade the front side. So something that's new, 2 points for first and last name legibly. So 2, 1 there. For circling the correct period, 2 points. So I got 5, 9, 11, 13, 15, 19. So the front side was 19 points. Remember, I randomly took someone and I graded the front side. I took another person and randomly graded the second side and added those two scores together, and that was the score that everyone got as a group. For question number 4, I originally had x squared minus 5x plus 6, but I realized your b value was odd, so it didn't help with your axis of symmetry. So I gave you a new equation, x squared plus 4x minus 32. It's in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. Your a value is the coefficient, so that's 1. B value is 4. And your c value is negative 32. This is standard form, 2 points. For b, the axis of symmetry is x equals negative 2. You get that by identifying your a, b, and c. Then you have this formula, x equals negative b over 2a. Your b value is 4. Your a value is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and the opposite of 2 is negative 2. If you wrote down the correct formula, x equals negative b over 2a, and you got this wrong, I'll give you 1 point. For c, the vertex is negative 2, negative 36. You're just putting in negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 minus 32. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 32 is negative 36. That's my vertex. If you have this one right, that one wrong, I'll give you 1 point. So 1 point apiece. Okay. Sketch and label. So sketch means sketch it out, draw it out, and then label means you actually have it on there. The information you found in 4b. So 4b says the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. So 4b is your axis of symmetry. That's this dotted line right there. 4c is your vertex, which is negative 2, negative 36. In that case, that is our minimum. There's your value. I want to know how it opens. So this problem opens up because of your a value is positive right there. And the last one is your y-intercept. Remember, sketch and label means you not only put it here, but you write the words y-intercept. Okay, so some advantages of the standard form is that it helps you identify the y-intercept very quickly. Alright, that one was worth 4 points for this one. So 4, 2, 2, 2. This one was worth 10 points. Question number 4 is worth 10 points. Question number 5. Use the following: g of x equals negative, parentheses, x plus 3 squared minus 1. You realize there's a plus sign, so go ahead and change it to a minus minus. The reason why we do that is because in the formula, this is vertex. This is vertex form because you have a parentheses squared. Standard form has no parentheses with the power of 2. No parentheses, power of 2. In vertex form, I'm finding my a, h, and k, and the reason why I changed the plus sign to 2 negatives is because you have minus, negative. You have a positive sign, that should be minus and negative. The formula has to have this negative sign so that your h value is negative 3 and your k is negative 1. So vertex form, those are 2 points. Axis of symmetry is just your h value. Remember, your h value tells you what your axis of symmetry is, so negative 3, negative 3. What is the vertex? Vertex is just hk, which is negative 3, negative 1. 1 point apiece there. Tells you sketch and label the graph, information you found in 5b. So 5b tells me axis of symmetry, AOS, x equals negative 3. Your 5c is labeling this order pair, negative 3, negative 1. Remember, your vertex is always on the axis of symmetry. A lot of students put the vertex there, then incorrect. And that it opens up. So that was 3 points. 2, 2, 2, so that's 6 plus 3 is 9. So 9 plus 10 gives you 19 on that side, which gives you 38 for the whole test. Some advantages of vertex form is that you're able to quickly identify the h and k, meaning you can find the vertex and graph. In this case, that would be a minimum. Hope that was helpful for you for studying for your test this Friday.